the enemy has succeeded in bringing division in a way that's really tragic and heartbreaking. And
So,
there's
yes.
believers who, I mean, uh, and the Christian church is a wide family, is a big family,
Yeah.
from
Yeah. Very
left wing to
diverse.
right, very diverse, from conservative to progressive, from Republican to Democrat, and the enemy can get people that
Hmm.
it's more important that we have to agree on fill in the blank.
Right.
A big
Right.
abortion, LGBT, gay marriage, who should be president. I mean, and the enemy somehow gets us if we don't agree on politics or any one
Hmm.
of five hot button issues, then
Right.
I can't receive what you have to offer about the living presence of Jesus. On either side, the folks on the far left think I'm too conservative, and the people on the far right think I'm too liberal.
Hmm.
No problems, just life happens, and still totally the same vision. Hopefully, we're going to try again this year. But
Good.
that's an
Good.
example of, hey, people, we would love to have folks praying because it also,
Yeah.
if I were the enemy and I had a sharp, a person like this guy with a huge church network who has a lot of stuff already going well on caring for the people who are emotionally wounded and mentally ill, and they wanted to bring in an Immanuel Approach component to dramatically increase what they can offer to the least of these. If I were the enemy, I would oppose that in every possible way.
Hmm.
That's just a
Hmm.
no-brainer.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
like, some things people tell me, and it's like, I mean, I try not to blame the enemy for everything. I mean, just the world is broken all by itself, and there's sin
Yeah.
and brokenness and
Yeah.
darkness.
I'm with you on that.
But
Yeah.
it's also I also believe that the enemy does exist, and he'd be brain dead to not deliberately oppose the Emmanuel approach. I mean, if
Right.
I were on the other team, I would be
Yeah.
watching for opportunities. And
Yeah.
any place, any church, any ministry where they're thinking about bringing the Emmanuel approach in, I
Hmm.
would I would sniff around for the folks who are most vulnerable on that team, find their weaknesses, and set them on fire. That'd just be basic. I mean, that
Of
takes me
course.
1 minute
Yeah.
to think of that.
Yeah.
It seems like, oh golly, teams and ministries and churches that are excited about the Emmanuel approach, and then I talk to them a year later, and it's like, yeah, after that conversation, like 15 things blew up.
Yep. You're like, aha.
Aha. So,
Yeah.
hey, people
Yeah.
out there, we would love to get prayer for protection and favor and blessings for
Hmm.
all the folks
Hmm.
that are excited about what we're doing. Pray that
Hmm.
the Lord bless and protect those efforts.
Hmm.
Another
Hmm.
example is,
Yeah.
where was this? It was a AACC, American Association of Christian Counselors conference that was, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago. And I met this woman who it turns out is the outpatient director for the largest teen challenge program in the country, which is one of the flagships
Mm.
for the whole
Hmm.
world. And they
Hmm.
have, I don't know, 1,000, 1,200 programs in
Hmm.
100
Yeah.
countries. I
They're
mean,
huge.
they're a huge deal. And they actually, they really, they have mostly succeeded in actually offering addiction care for folks who don't have insurance or money, that's kind of a
That's
crazy
huge.
accomplishment.
Yes.
But guess what? If you're offering low cost care for addiction problems for the millions of people, tens of millions of people, hundreds of millions of people who have some addiction problem and they don't have money or insurance, guess what? You're going to have a big workload and you're operating on a shoestring, and that's just challenging. So
Very
she and I
challenging.
have been, we've had a couple conversations every, once or twice a year we connect, and I'll just say, hey, is there anything else I can do to help? And she, uh, she discovered, I can't remember how she discovered, somebody I trained who did a seminar in Minneapolis where she was 3 or 4 or 5 years ago. She went to that, learned about the Emmanuel approach, and says, oh, yeah, all the outpatient therapists in my clinic and on my team know about the Emmanuel approach. Most of them use it. It's fantastic. So I'm thinking, wow, the director of outpatient care for one of the
Mhm.
flagship teen challenge programs for the country and the world knows about the Emmanuel approach and loves it and says it's fantastic.
Mm.
Okay, um, if you're that convinced, do you think it would be a good thing? I mean, this is one of the best things you've discovered for your work, right? I'm guessing that there's 1,000 other outpatient and inpatient directors. I mean, the the leadership for every other challenge program in the world, I'm guessing, would benefit from knowing about this. Oh yeah, that's a wonderful idea, Dr. Karl. Okay, so what about that?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, that's a huge, fantastic, brilliant, amazing strategic opportunity.
Yes, yes.
And she's excited about that, and she's watching for opportunities to talk to her colleagues and see where that can go. But once again, every time she goes back to her office, there's 475 memos on her desk about, I mean,
Yeah.
her outfit is, I think they have like 800 people in their program. I mean,
Wow.
that that's, I'm sure she has a few things to do,
Yeah.
but there's a big deal. Hey, folks, pray for them.